and we're going to talk about this new proposal that came today, that I'm going to share with you exactly what this proposal is about. Here we go. So welcome our YouTube viewers as well, and Facebook and Instagram. We are live right now, also on TikTok. This is day 7. This is day 7. 5, 6, 7. This is day 7 of our live challenge, where we are going live for 20 days, celebrating our 20-year anniversary. And today, the topic of today, in addition to answering your questions, we're going to be talking about this new proposal that came today from UCIS, essentially saying that if you're in the United States and you are on a temporary visa, like a work visa or even a tourist visa, and you stayed beyond the status, and then you need to file for an extension or a change of status, and you have special circumstances, they will accept it even if you are out of status. This is actually pretty interesting, and I would say quite groundbreaking, because, as you know, if you are typically overstay your visa, you're not able to change status to anything. And with this new change, it's going to help a lot of people. And I'll tell you exactly why they're doing this and why it happened, because I think it's important, because a lot of people who are watching this maybe are out of status already, or maybe you will, somebody who fell out of status. In terms of our YouTube viewers, I'm going to post again a link like we do every day. If you want to join on video, there's a link that I just posted, and you can click on that link and you can join me on video. And then I'll take some video calls, we'll do a video calls as well here on TikTok in a few minutes. But you can start lining up, and I will take your questions as well. Drop your questions you hear from YouTube, put your questions in the comments, and I'll answer them in the order received. And so let's talk a little bit about this update from USCIS, and I'll take some more questions. So basically, if you are here on a tourist visa or student visa or work visa, you have a certain time. You have an I-94 that tells you how long you can stay. And if you stay beyond that I-94, beyond the expiration time of this I-94, then you're not able to change status to anything typically, right? Well, they come out with this proposal to change the USCIS manual, saying that if you have unusual circumstances and you can prove it, you're still going to be able to file for change of status or an extension of status, even if you're already out of status, even if you overstayed. And the reason why this is happening is because originally they wanted to help applicants who are here on H-2A, H-2B visas. These are seasonal visas. And the problem with these visas is, and we do a lot of H-2Bs at our firm, we help a lot of, construction companies, hospitality, hotels, people that are here on temporary visas, switch them or get those visas for them. What happens in this process, sometimes the Labor Department is not going to give you documents on time because of technical issues, or because they're just not able to get particular documents on time. As a result, employers are not able to file their extensions of their workers on properly. So they are they're losing their status. So UCIS came with this policy saying, we definitely want to help the H-2B applicants and people that are filing these visas. Sometimes it's not their fault, but also, this policy can be used for other visas probably, because they didn't specifically just limit it to H-2Bs. And the idea is that, I'm not saying that people should overstay, obviously, but if you do overstay your status, and you're going to be able to prove that certain things happen, you're not able to obtain certain documents, you're not able maybe to leave on time, you're not able to, submit your application, you have to prove, obviously, that it wasn't just a regular, incident. Then UCIS will consider allowing you to apply even if you're already out of status, which is kind of interesting. And again, it's all coming because of the H-2B visas. It's really designed to help the H-2B visas, people who are filing for H-2Bs. But I believe that immigration attorneys and other practitioners are going to be able to use that and say, hey, you guys have this policy. This is also happened to my client. She came here on a tourist visa. She was pregnant. She couldn't leave. Things like that. So overall, it's a good change in the policy, and we welcome that. So let me take a few questions here from our YouTube viewers. The question is, I need help with my son's paperwork. It's been over 10 years since I sponsored him and haven't heard back from USCIS. So remember, again, if you're filing for somebody who is not an immediate relative, so in this case, it's probably a son over 21, you're going through this preference system, depending which country you're from, and you have to wait for your priority date to become current. Some countries, it takes years, like India, China, the Philippines. So if you're going through the process, you have to really monitor the visa bulletin and then understand how to read it, so you know how long you still have to wait for this to happen. Question from Anish. I married a U.S. citizen. I'm charged with a Class B misdemeanor. I'm on pretrial diversion. Can I apply for a green card? So basically, every time if you're going through the green card process, you have a misdemeanor, you have a DUI, anything like that, it's really important to analyze the actual offense, the actual conviction, if there is a conviction, and speak with a criminal attorney to understand the implications statewide. And then we have to see how it's going to impact your immigration. It could impact your immigration, obviously, but not every misdemeanor could be a problem. So, what I tell people, if you have a misdemeanor, if you have any criminal issues, you need to speak with both a criminal attorney and an immigration attorney so we can analyze your case properly. Ikra is asking, I'm a permanent resident. Can I apply for my parents? You have to be, typically, like I said, it's citizens, U.S. citizens should be able to apply for their parents. It's basically not a privilege available right now for green card holders. Let me take some questions from our TikTok viewers. DB is asking, should a new DACA application be sent even if they aren't being processed? So let me explain the context of this. As you know, right now there's this court battle about DACA, and the issue is that only renewals of DACA are acceptable right now, and you can apply for work permit and advanced parole. But you're not able to, they're not processing new applications, but they will accept them. I wouldn't send it, to be honest with you. I wouldn't send it until they change the rules and they will allow DACA to send it. So, like, why would you just want to send it and have it sit there? Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't. Let's see. Do I have to stay married in order to apply for VAWA? I fled due domestic violence. No, you don't have to be married to apply for VAWA. In fact, you can also be divorced for up to 2 years. So if you file for divorce and it hasn't been up to 2 years, you can still qualify for VAWA. So you don't have to need to stay married to still apply for VAWA. I have a lot of people that are confused about it. And so you don't need to. We have got a question here on YouTube and Facebook as well. I think it's the same person asking. My name is Milos. I'm from Serbia on EB3, and my priority date is current since January. My question is there some time limit for the embassy to schedule an interview? That's a good question. So a lot of people are being current right now for their green cards. So they're now waiting for the embassies to schedule their interviews. Unfortunately, there is no time limit. Some people are getting scheduled within 3 months and other people are waiting even a year. It depends on the embassy. It depends on the capacity of the embassies to process these cases. Each embassy has an individual schedule, so you're going to have to check with yours. But because you were just now in January become current, I think it's going to take a while for MVC even to take action on your case. So you need to start being proactive yourself. Rafia is asking, I'm a fresh graduate as a civil engineer from Pakistan. Which type of visa is easy in applying to come to the United States and work? Let's see here. So if you're a new graduate and you have an engineering degree like this guy Rafa, the best thing is obviously the H-1B visa. The H-1B visa is designed for professionals that hold at least a bachelor degree. Right now is the time to apply for H-1B. Right now is the time to get ready to apply for H-1B. Opening application for H-1Bs is going to open in March. So right now the key is to find an employer. So for you to be able to come to the United States, you need to find an employer that is willing to sponsor you. And now is the time. So, a lot of people are watching this and they're asking me, how can they apply for the H-1B? To apply for the H-1B visa, you need to have an employer. So your job right now is to speak as many employers as possible to convince them to hire you. That's what you have to do right now. And then get them to apply for you in March. Right, we've got Yinka who wants to ask a question.
I don't know. Actually, I do want to do it. So
Yinka,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
from Georgia and I was on the other night. I just have a quick question. We
okay,
filed for my mom. She's in Lagos, Nigeria.
okay,
Everything has been approved. The last notification we got from NVC was that we're waiting for her an appointment.
okay,
That was July of 2023. So I know
okay.
there's a backlog, but I just wanted to know, should we expect something by July of this year, or kind of what are the expectations?
I always tell people that it's too soon to know right now. We're still too early in the year to see how they're moving cases. I made a video the other day explaining the processing and the timelines. So I believe that after maybe like around summertime of this year, you'll see some more movement. I don't think you're going to see too much movement until June or July of 2024, for my prediction. And after that, I'll be able to actually tell people more or less how soon they'll be able to be scheduled. Because remember, every embassy has a different schedule.
Right.
So unfortunately, your mother is in one of the not the best embassies.
Yeah.
So it remains to be seen. But for now, don't expect any movement until July of 2024.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Of course. And again, if you have a case that is going through a particular embassy, remember that these embassies, they have their own procedures and schedule. So it's very important to be in touch with those embassies and find out what their particular processing time. Really good questions here on TikTok. Alejandro is asking, can I do advanced parole to get second opinion for a medical situation? I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, if you already have a medical situation that you're already going through in the US and you want to show them that you have an appointment with a doctor overseas, yeah, I mean, quite a few people are doing that. Especially right now, we have a lot of people that are trying to get alternative treatment, stem cells, and things like that. They're not available in the US, or they're going through a treatment in the US and they need to complement that with another treatment overseas. Quite a few people use that to travel to Panama, Mexico, and yeah, so it's not a problem. Lorena is asking, my mother overstayed her time on her visa. I'm a US citizen. Can I still apply for the I-130? Yes. So remember, if you being a US citizen, it's an exception. So even if your mother overstayed, it doesn't matter. You can still help her, and it's not going to be an issue at all. You can still help her get her green card. Yeah, keep posting the questions. I'm going to take one from YouTube. And again, those of you that are asking how to get a hold of me, if you're watching it on TikTok, just send a DM right now or use the link in my bio to schedule a consultation. Those of you watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, there's a number right here. You can see that number, 619-483-4549. Just use this number, text me, and I'll be able to you'll be able to get in touch with one of our team members. We have a question here from Rosita. Good question. My fiance failed his medical exam because of marijuana usage. He was given a year of waiting time. After that year, he'll return to the medical. What happens next? So that's a great question. So some people, whether it's for the fiance or for the marriage green card, they go through a medical exam, and at that point they check if you're a drug user or an alcoholic. If they find out that you are using drugs at the moment, they will not allow the medical to go through. And there's what is called as like a 1 year cooling period. During this 1 year, you have to be tested again to make sure that you're not using drugs, in this case, cannabis. And so what's going to happen after that 1 year, the person will go back to the embassy and restart the process of the interview. You don't have to go back and do the whole, green card again, but you have to probably resubmit your documents to the embassy and go through another medical exam. Unfortunately, that 1 year, there's nothing you can do about it. So it's very important that not only you don't use the drugs before the interview, but also verbally do not admit. We had another case actually a few months ago where somebody went to the interview in Ciudad Juarez, and the person was clean, like he had no drug, he wasn't using any drugs, but the person who was checking him was kind of like being friendly with him. Just be careful not to get friendly with any of these officers or the medical professionals over there. And he was like, yeah, you're having a good time, like smoking here and there. And the guy's like, yeah, sometimes when I'm bored, I don't know why he was even said that. It kind of fell in the conversation, and the doctor put in the notes, and that was enough for the officer to classify him as a drug user, and he was banned for a year. You know what I mean? So be really careful. First of all, about not using drugs, obviously, when you go for the green card interview, but also be careful what you say at your interview, because they can use, like, literally, they can use any word against you. All right, so we got a lot of people here on YouTube as well. Just let me know where you're tuning in from. I know we have a lot of people from the Philippines. We have people from Brazil, from Argentina. We have people from Nigeria, and also obviously in the US, the East Coast. So just drop, I want to know where you're from. Susanna is asking, my I-130s was approved in 2023. How long do I have to wait? I'm 36 and in the US. My dad is a US citizen. Well, remember that the fact that your I-130 has been approved doesn't mean anything. We still have to wait for your priority date to become current. And right now, it takes a while for the dates to become current. Thanks, D. Don't forget, guys, also on TikTok, we have the bold goal. Let's get that goal. Get some bolts in there so we can empower immigrants. We're doing this for our 20-year anniversary, streaming every day for the next 20 days. And after that, we'll have some big surprises for this community that we're watching here. I'm excited to announce this new surprise, new challenge we're going to be doing after the 20 days of the live. So all of you that are here, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you're watching this for the first time, but also follow us, because we are going to be sharing some cool stuff and some cool gifts for our viewers. All right, let's take, how do my parents, Eva is asking, how do my parents know they qualify if I go to the military? Is there a way to know? So, like, you're talking about parole in place. So your parents will qualify only if they, like I said, they came here unlawfully one time. They don't have double reentries. They don't have any, don't have any crazy, they don't have any criminal background. They'll qualify. Alejandro is asking. Thanks for asking, Alejandro. Were you affected by the floods? I personally wasn't affected. There were a lot of flood. San Diego was flooded. It was crazy. We had, people were literally in canoes and boats riding through the city. 2 days ago. But we had floods next to our office. We were safe. My house was safe. But I know some friends that their backyards were flooded. The water came to the house. It's insane. It felt like we were in some kind of a movie. To be honest with you, it didn't feel real. Let's see here. Now remember, you keep posting those questions even multiple times, because the questions kind of come on my screen just like that. And also for the YouTube viewers, keep posting the questions. I'll get to them because they just kind of come on my screen. Question from Sunpreet: what shows up in UCIS background checks for N400? That's a good question. So when they do the background checks for N400, they're checking criminal history, they're checking child support issues, they're checking your tax, if you paid your taxes or if you didn't pay your taxes. So they're checking, sometimes they're checking your residence. They're checking your residence history as well. And so that's kind of what they're checking. Let's get Sylvia. Sylvia is waiting patiently to join on video on YouTube. So Sylvia, welcome. Where are you from?
That's your question. I am from Tampa, Florida. Okay. And yes, I have a question. I am the U.S. My husband is in Africa. And the thing is, I was wondering, we had to prove bona fide marriage. And I just wanted to know, we waiting on the interview, we are qualified. So I'm waiting on the interview. So I want to know, do we have to do the qualifications again? Because we're having an interview again.
No. So basically, did you guys already have one interview at an embassy or no?
Yeah, we had one before. We had to prove a bona fide marriage. So we did prove everything.
Okay.
And everything was qualified, updated, Okay. So we're just waiting. I'm just waiting on the interview. That's what they said.
You're waiting for the embassy interview. Yeah. So you're still gonna. You don't have to go to that interview. He's gonna have to go in his country. That's all you're waiting for.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's gonna happen based on your embassy's schedule. Every embassy has a different schedule, as I mentioned before. So you just have to kind of wait. Be patient. But it's gonna happen. So you will be interviewed. I mean, he will be interviewed at that point.
Okay, I wanted to know, did we have to prove that we're married again? I mean, that's like we went through something the first time. Yeah. Okay, but there's an incident with the lawyer or something. Someone didn't do what they supposed to do. I had supposed to prove it. So I had to do everything over. So now that I proved it, I just want to know, we're going to do an interview again. We have to go through all that, the shots and everything. Again, do we have to do all that all over?
Yeah, because he's not here. He's waiting for his interview at the embassy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to do it. Absolutely.
Okay. Just wondered, did we have to go through the whole situation again? I did an I-30. So okay.
I-130 is one thing, but it still has to be the second part. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for your.
Thanks, Sylvia. I appreciate it. So remember, guys, the I-130 is the first part, right? That is where they check the validity of the marriage. This is with USCIS. But if your spouse is overseas, they're still going to have to go through an embassy interview. They're going to check their criminal background. They're going to verify that they're legitimately coming to the United States. It's a different kind of interview as well. So it's not the end. The I-130 is not the end. Thank you, Ali, for the roses and all that. And don't forget the bolts here. We want to get to our goal today, to empower immigrants all over the country to, in support of immigration reform. Okay. XX is asking, can you explain the joint sponsorship concept? So when you apply for a green card, and let's say you're a U.S. citizen, but you don't make enough money. So for example, if you want to sponsor 2 people, you have to make a certain amount of money. Let's say $24,000, $26,000. Let's say you make $12,000. So what happens is that immigration says, we're going to need a co-sponsor, somebody to co-sign saying that if your immigrant spouse is going to come to the United States and they are not going to be able, you're not going to be able to help them, support them financially, and they're going to become like a public charge, then somebody else can step in case that happens. And that's what the role of the sponsor is. So, and that's on Form I-64. How long does it take to get a work permit after getting married to a U.S. citizen? Prince Hakim is asking. Well, it's taking about 6 months average in most states. Some places it takes less time, maybe 4 months. But on average, it is about 6 months. And the work permit, that just because somebody gets a work permit doesn't mean that they're already approved for the green card. You know what I mean? It's a temporary benefit. All right, we have a lot of good questions here on YouTube as well. We get here. Samantha is asking, are those background checks for N400 the same as for I-751? No, they're different. When you go through the 751 background checks, they are also checking criminal stuff, but they're also verifying validity of marriage. So they might also check other things as well. The background check for N400 are a little bit more extensive. Okay? So they're not the same. That's why you have to take your biometrics again when you apply for your citizenship. All right. My husband has conditional residency. This is from Ruth. Can we travel to Mexico many times with no problem? Yeah, of course. The conditional green card is just like any other green card. It's on a card. It says 2 years, and you guys can travel anywhere. I recently shared with you a story on a video where I explained that people went to a green card interview, and then the officer say everything looks good. I will approve you. They went home, and it's been 1 month, 2 months, nothing happened. And then when they check their credit report, they've seen that UCIS checked their credit report. Now, the reason why it potentially happened is because immigration, if they're trying to investigate your case, if they want to try to investigate your marriage or the relationship, sometimes they'll pull the credit report because they want to see maybe you have another address. Maybe you're making payments in a different city. It's part of an investigation, and that's why it's taking a few months to get a decision on your case, because they are investigating your case this whole time. You know what I mean? That's why. Paola says, can you explain your new TikTok video? Can you name some examples? Okay, very good. So a lot of people are joining right now on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and also on TikTok. And I'm going to explain this new policy. So basically what they're saying is that people who are here in the United States, let's say on a tourist visa, on a work visa, and your status is going to expire at some point, right? You have 6 months, a year, whatever that timeline is. And let's say for some reason you are falling out of status. And the example that they give in the policy is H-2B workers. So if you come here on a temporary visa to work for a hotel, for a construction company, for a restaurant, to work in Disneyland, whatever. So you have the seasonal visas, right? So people who are coming on the seasonal visas, for them to be able to renew the seasonal visas, they need to get certain documents from the Labor Department, from immigration, and sometimes there are delays. Sometimes they are not able to get those documents on time. And so a lot of these people were overstaying because of lack of documents, and they had to leave the country, or they were not able to change. So UCIS says that if there are unusual circumstances that won't allow you to file your extension on time of your status, then they will allow you to file it even if you file it after you overstay. Now, they're kind of focusing on H-2B visas when they explain this policy, but this can apply for any other visa, right? You can take this logic, you can take this memo and say, listen, I came here on a tourist visa. I tried to extend my stay. I fell ill. I couldn't go to, I couldn't file my forms on time. Here's proof from the hospital that's the reason why I overstayed by 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. And UCIS should consider it as an unusual circumstances and allow you to extend your status. That's what I mean by that video. So again, it doesn't mean everybody who will overstay their status will be able to use this policy, but at least it's an indication that they'll be flexible and they will be looking at people that made an effort or something happened and they were not able to. Also, for example, maybe you were on a work visa like H-1B as well, and you were not able to file the change of employer on time because there were some delays in obtaining documents. then they will also allow people to extend even after they overstay. So it's a really good policy. I mean, again, we'll see how they're going to start implementing it, but it's going to help a lot of people that fell out of status. Yeah, that's what I mean. If my question from if my spouse files petition for I-130, am I still considered to be an undocumented immigrant? Yes. So remember, the I-130 petition doesn't give you status. It just starts the process of your application. It doesn't give you status. You still need to have, eventually to be, you're still going to need to be able to legalize yourself eventually. So the I-130 doesn't give you any status. You're still considered to be undocumented, but it just starts the process of legalizing yourself. Eventually, you're going to have to go to the U.S. Embassy and also get a waiver to fix your status. We have a question here. Let me see here. Rayo is asking a good question. Do you think that there will be an immigration reform in 2024? I don't think that there's going to be a reform, but I think there's going to be a lot of a push to change some immigration bills. So there might be a bill. To help DACA certain way. Maybe there's going to be a bill to create a path for legalization for certain kind of workers, maybe TPS, maybe So I think there's going to be like a piecemeal. It's not going to be like a big reform. I feel like more like a piecemeal, and because it's an election year, immigration is an important topic. So there's going to be a lot of push on enforcement at the border in exchange for concessions for people that maybe want to get legalized or get some visas. So thanks, Ali. I appreciate it. So I don't think it's going to be a reform, but there will be a lot of movement towards creating some sort of a path for legalization for certain people that are currently in the United States. And maybe by 2025, something will actually pass. But this is going to be a year of a lot of movement. I predict making a lot of videos explaining all these things. So once again, if you are watching this on our YouTube channel right now, make sure you subscribe if you're here for the first time. And for our TikTok viewers, if you're watching this video right now, first time on my live, please follow my account as well and click the 3 dots at the bottom and share this video so more people can join our live and ask more questions. And the same thing for our YouTube viewers as well. Vanessa is asking, my mom just became a citizen. Is there any chance we need to make to my adult unmarried in the U.S. to your application? Yeah. So you were not. She was a resident before, and then you were classified as different. Yeah. I would update the National Visa Center to let them know that your mother is now a citizen, and they will update your category, and this way you'll be able to. It will change your process a little bit. Sai is asking, I've been a resident since 2021 from marriage to U.S. citizen. My husband, can I apply for citizenship? If you're still married to your U.S. citizen spouse, you can apply for citizenship based on marriage after 2 years and 9 months. So yes, you should be able to apply as long as you guys are together and residing in the same household as well. So for those of you on YouTube asking how to join on the live, just use the link I just posted. If you want to ask a question on video, just use this link right here and you can join me in video. And Connor is asking, I started my I-130 U.S. citizen. When do you expect my case to be approved? So if you're filing for the I-130 and you are outside of the United States, it's going to take 2 years before you can get your green card, maybe even more than 2 years. Thanks to Jiggy. If you are inside the United States and you're filing for adjustment of status, then it's going to take about 10 months for adjustment of status. We've got Ashbrum Ashburn, who is asking a question on YouTube. Where are you from, Ashburn? And ask your question.
Hi, hello. I'm
Yeah.
from New Jersey,
Okay.
and I wanted to know regarding the waivers, the I-601A and I-601. Is it possible if my spouse, she can, if she's a legal resident of the United States, can she apply for a waiver if I'm outside the country, if I've overstayed
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
U?
Absolutely. Green card holders are eligible to apply for waivers. So absolutely. If you
So
need help.
how does it work? Like, if I have a 10-year ban and she has a green card, can she apply and get me to the country?
So if she has a green card
Yes.
and the priority date becomes current, that's when the interview is going to take place. There's going to be no interview for your case, so there's no point to do this waiver too early. You have to time it with when the priority date is going to be current for a green card holder. You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying? So right now, if you're going to file right now as a green card holder, it's going to take 2 years, 2.5 years before you will be eligible for an interview. So you should kind
Oh,
of time the waiver based on that timeline. Make
okay.
sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So yeah, green card holders can also sponsor their spouses, but unfortunately, right now there is a backlog. Lizette is asking, can a person apply for I-140 immigrant visa if he has a sponsor for EB2 and nurse without legal entry? Well, that's not going to help you. So a lot of people ask me this question. I'm here, like this person, without paperwork. They came here without inspection. They're here illegal. Now they have an employer who wants to file for the green card. So yes, the employer can file for your green card, but it's not going to help you because you're not going to be able to finish the process inside the United States. You will have to leave the country eventually. And as soon as you leave, you're going to be barred for 10 years. And there's no waiver for that. You understand? So there's no point for you to do it. That's why we need one of the things we're expecting in any of these law changes, we're expecting some kind of a provision that will help people kind of legalize themselves or remove the 10-year and 3-year bars. Because as soon as they remove these bars, you'll be able to get sponsored by an employer or by anyone who wants to help you. I mean, does it make sense? All right. Paloma is asking, I'm on category F4, waiting for almost 14 years, brothers and sisters from Brazil. How long more do I have to wait for my visa to become available? The visa bulletin is published every single month. And so right now, in the past few years, the movement has been very slow, especially specifically for the F4 category. I think that people that are waiting for 14 years, 15 years, it's probably going to take another year or two before you'll see almost like a uniform movement forward in the visa bulletin, specifically for F4. So it's just very hard for anyone to predict exactly how fast it's going to go. As I mentioned before to the people that asked me the same question, we are now in the beginning of 2024. So the visa bulletin is not moving that fast. We don't have enough data to estimate when family petitions will move forward. Only after summer of 2024, we're going to see more clear data, and I'll be able to predict how the year is going to end. I'm posting a video on YouTube next week about predictions for F2A movement, and it will have the same logic for F4 or for any other category. So make sure you go to my YouTube channel and subscribe if you're not there yet. But also keep an eye on my F2A visa update. I'll tell you exactly how to understand, how to read it, and how to make these kind of predictions. Okay, so Spokazi, thank you so much, Spokazi. I appreciate the hearts and the likes. You guys are amazing. Alora is asking, when H-1B be able to renew their visa inside the United States? So H-1B visas already can get stamping inside the United States without leaving the country, but it's a pilot program. It's limited for 20,000 people, mostly from India and Canada right now. It will be expanded to more people after, I believe, July of 2024, but it's already existing. Right now, it's limited just to H-1B visa holders. And by the way, if you're watching this video right now and you are looking to apply for a work visa H-1B, now is the time to secure your job. Now is the time to negotiate with the employer, find your attorney. Right now, we are taking a lot of applications for H-1B visas. Our office is literally getting ready for almost like a war situation where we're going to have all these cases ready to file, because March is going to be a deadline to prepare all these applications. So take this advice, start looking for an employer who's going to sponsor you for the H-1B visa right now. And we at my office, what we do is if you find an employer, set up a consultation where we can talk to the employer, explain to them what they have to do, and help you convince them to sponsor you. It is part of our services as well. Even before they hire you, work on a consultation, give them all the details, make them understand what they have to do, and then they're going to hire you. It makes it much easier. We've been doing this for the past several years. It's been a really good service. Just going to work with you even before you get hired to explain to the employers what they have to do to get you that H-1B visa. Khan is asking, I'm a U.S. resident, but I don't have all my travel history. Can I apply for U.S. citizenship? Yes, you can. So remember, when you apply for citizenship, you have to prove that you lived in the United States at least half of the time in the past 5 years or 3 years, depending if you qualify for the 3-year rule. It's your job to convince them or prove them that you've been here, right? So it's travel history, it's receipts, or whatever you have. They're not gonna, if they have a suspicion that it's not true, then they will give you a request for evidence, and you have to respond and explain it. Thanks for the hearts and the likes and all that. Appreciate that, guys. We've got Rizelda. Thanks for appreciate that. Once again, YouTube friends, C1D Visa, 5 years staying in the US. Please, some good advice, Mr. Jacob. Okay, so C1 visa. If you come on a C1 visa, it's a crew member. It's somebody who goes on a cruise ship, or one of these service pass through the US. It's essentially, if you come here on a C1D visa, it's like you come without inspection. It's like you jump the fence. It's the same thing. So you'll have to find a better way to, you just have to find a better way to move here in terms of, maybe marry your citizen eventually, or wait for the law to change, because your situation is like, it's just like you came without authorization, unfortunately. All right, let's see here. Tukam is asking, Jacob, do you know, can a Canadian already married to an American move to US, file a green card through adjustment of status? This is from Dalal. Absolutely. Absolutely. You are eligible to move to the United States and then file for adjustment of status. There's no issue. You don't have to be married afterwards. All right. So we are. Let me take another question here. Here we go. Gonka is asking, can I sue the USCIS because of long processing? That's a good question. I touched on it a little bit yesterday. So first of all, before you're going to sue the USCIS or any government agency for delays in processing, you have to verify, first of all, that you are outside of normal processing times, number one. And number two, what else have you done to try to check on your case before suing them, right? So if your I-130 is outside of normal processing times and you made your inquiries and you haven't heard anything from them and they haven't responded to any of that, then potentially, yes. We have to see how long is the delay. Right now, what has been really effective is suing embassies like Islamabad, or the embassy in Mumbai, who has been, or even the embassy in Lagos, who've been delaying a lot of people's cases. Those have been really effective. Usually with USCIS forms, I-130s, they will always say that, even though it's outside of normal processing times. They always have their excuses. So it's not always easy to sue I-130 that are being delayed because, like I said, it's you need to try to follow up with them first before suing them. But N400, if your case is delayed after your citizenship interview, those are the most effective mandamus lawsuits because by law they have to give you a decision after 120 days. But every case is different. So, like I said, let me see here. Shivering is asking, can we talk about the possible difficulty level of N400 application process when I-751 was waived, no interview, no RFE, USAH just sent my green card and I applied for divorce. So basically, if a person never had an interview during the first green card, the second green card, you only received the green card in the mail, and now you want to apply for citizenship, you will go through a green card interview at your citizenship application. They will question you about your marriage. They'll go back 5-7 years. You're not going to be exempt from an interview because during the citizenship application, they will talk to you. So, and if you don't have enough proof, if you never had that proof, even when you were going through your 751 process, you're going to be in trouble. I've seen all the time people who go through their citizenship application and they never had an interview for their second green card, and now they tackle them with their full-blown marriage green card interview at their citizenship, and they're not prepared for that. So remember, they're doing this right now a lot. Be ready for that. They will question your marriage at your citizenship. All right. So for our YouTube, let me see, Liz. Go ahead, Liz. Can you speak louder? I cannot hear you so much. Okay. No. No, I cannot hear you. No, unfortunately, I cannot hear you. Do you want to try to reboot your phone? No, we cannot hear you. Try to reboot your phone and then ask the question again, okay? What? No, I cannot hear you. So just reboot the phone, I'll bring you back. Okay. Tukman is asking, do you know how long are documents valid, criminal documents for embassy interview? Thank you very much. You know, it depends on every country that you go to. Typically, it should be about a year. It's not going to be good that more than a year. So be prepared for that to get new documents. Let's try Liz again. Documents. Okay. Anyway, for our YouTube viewers, this will end the stream for today. We'll be back tomorrow again. So the ones that I didn't, if I didn't get your questions, like Mechanical Guru, John, Lizette, Samir, I'll be back here tomorrow again, same time, 5 p.m. For our YouTube viewers, and we'll be able to do this again. So have a beautiful night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is for our YouTube viewers. And you can keep dropping your questions in the comments of the video because the video will be posted on our YouTube channel. So see you back tomorrow, guys.